How many times have you gone to the beach and seen a piece of plastic floating through the water or blowing through the sand? I bet everyone has experienced the annoyance or sadness when the picture-perfect sandy beaches and blue water aren't so perfect after all. I know this feeling all too well when I went to Florida this summer and was walking through the waves looking for shells when I felt a tug on my foot. It was a plastic bag. Today I'm going to discuss how our oceans are being filled with plastic pollution due to indestructible compounds in river transportation, how ocean litter affects marine life, and how properly recycling and sea barriers can stop the flow of trash to the oceans. Plastic is the definition of convenience for society today. The convenience, indestructible compounds, and affordability plastic has to offer gives us the advantage over every other material. Plastic became popular after World War II and revolutionized everyday lives, including food, transportation, and medicine. Which also means every day it is also discarded of. Plastic gave manufacturers everything they could have wanted, but at a cheaper price, creating what we call now a throwaway culture. Once everything was made of plastic, the public stopped paying attention to recycling. One thing all ocean pollution has in common is that it all originates from land-based sources. According to Plastic Recycling Myths article at Forbes website, published science journalist Laura Tenenbaum states that globally, only 10 to 15% of plastic currently gets recycled. That means 85 to 90% of it either ends up in a landfill or discarded through the environment. Since only a small amount of plastic actually gets recycled, where does the rest go? According to Environment Explainer article on National Geographic's website, senior writer and researcher Laura Parker states that trash is carried to sea by major rivers, which acts as a conveyor belt, picking up more and more trash as they go downstream. Now that plastic and its indestructible compounds have filled the oceans due to transportation of major rivers, marine life and their environments are disrupted and in danger. Since plastic never fully breaks down into its smallest, it will always be in our environment as tiny microplastics, which is just broken down plastic into its smallest form. Which then become a danger to small animals. Animals at risk include sea turtles and seabirds. When they digest the microplastics, they think they're full, but they're not, so they die of starvation. Whales are less susceptible to eating the microplastics because of their high intelligence, but they do end up with microplastics in their system because they then eat an animal like a sea turtle or something, a seal, that has digested microplastics, so it does end up in their system. According to Ocean Pollution article at Pew Trust, which is a non-governmental organization, PF researchers, professional researcher, published researcher Simon Reddy states that fish, seabirds, sea turtles, and marine mammals can be entangled in or ingest plastic debris, causing suffocation, starvation, and drowning. One of the most important lives in the ocean, not just animals, but humans are in danger too. Coral reefs provide an abundance of oxygen not just to animals, but humans too. Around half of our oxygen comes from coral reefs, but these microplastics get into it and fall into the coral reefs, and they end up giving the coral reefs diseases and causing them to die, which means we don't have any more coral. Although plastic pollution in the ocean seems like an impossible task to tackle, many projects have come underway to help the animals and their habitat. Once in the ocean, plastic is very hard to clean up due to the microplastic fibers. The ideal solution to ocean pollution would be to stop using plastic in total. But that's not realistic due to that everything, including our clothes, have plastic in them. Like just washing our clothes makes microplastics in our lint. The first step to solving the problem is recycling more. There should be more recycling bins around public areas and incentives to recycle more around the house. For such a complex problem, the solution can't be as easy as recycling because you can't guarantee people are always going to do it. Recently, a nonprofit organization has created a floating barrier to gather a mass amount of plastics throughout the oceans. Or there are smaller ones created for rivers to stop the plastic from reaching the open oceans in the first place. According to an ocean cleanup article at Science News for Students website, researcher and inventor Boyan Slat states that the system by 2040 can remove 90% of plastic in just the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. We see and hear the effects that plastic has on the ocean, but due to our throwaway culture, we fear it's impossible to help and that it's too late. But it's never too late to save the lives of innocent animals that are dying due to our carelessness. Today I discussed how all across the world our oceans are filled with plastic due to its everlasting structure, how ocean litter affects marine life, and how properly recycling and sea barriers can stop the flow of trash in the ocean. Next time when you are at the beach, look around and see the potential beauty the ocean has if we just try a little harder to recycle and pick up after ourselves. Most of us value a clean house and the area to come home to. Please treat the environment just like your home. When I think about my time at the beach, I think about the plastic bag around my foot. Although it's just my foot, I think about how it could have been a seal's neck or inside a turtle's stomach. Thank you.